Satoru Gojo is back, but not in the way we expected. The chapter begins with Itadori wanting to crush Sukuna's heart. He is so hateful that Sujuna killed his brother that he is trying to end it all soon. But at the moment that all this is happening and Sukuna was about to use his domain expansion, Satoru Gojo appears. But when the wind hits, we notice that there are Kinjaka marks on Gojo's forehead, which takes everyone by surprise. He manages to push Itadori away and starts shouting praising Yuta Okatsu. He didn't imagine that Yuta was capable of such a feat. I don't know how he discovered that this was Yuta, he has 6 eyes, but he managed to find out. In their plan shown in the flashback, it was to devour Kinjaku using Rika and copy Kinjaku's cursed technique. So if Satoru dies, he can switch bodies with Satoru. This is a very macabre plan actually. Panda asks if he can't just copy the Unlimited from Satoru Gojo, but he says no because it's only possible to use the Unlimited with the 6 eyes. Kusakabe says, then copies the 6 eyes. But Shoko responds, the 6 eyes are a physical part of Satoru's body, so it cannot be copied through innate technique. But Maki remembers something very important. If you can only copy for 5 minutes, what happens next? And here come some theories because not even they know what will happen. If Kinjaka's curse technique is a technique that has to be maintained at all times, then probably after 5 minutes have passed, Yuta will die. The second option is if the Kinjaka technique is used periodically, you use the technique to change bodies, and after a few days you have to use it again, so at some point the Yuta will die. And the third option is if the Kinjaka technique is used just once to change bodies, and then you no longer need to activate the technique, in which case Yuta may live forever in Satoru Gojo's body. But remember that this is the last card. That's why Yuta wants to fight with Sukuna first to try to win, and if it doesn't work he goes for this macabre strategy, which even Kusakabe questions, saying that it's not humane. What Yuta retorts by saying, what did you mean by not being human? We are going to fight the strongest sorcerer in history. If we can win and in return we just no longer be human, that is something we have to do without question. And Maki even tells Yuta to calm down and that they're just worried, which makes Yuta stressed, saying, are you worried about me? What about Satoru Gojo? Isn't he important? He's been the only one who had to turn into a monster and he's alone in that. If our teacher Gojo dies, who will take on this role of transforming into a monster to defeat the Sukuna? If no one takes over, I intend to take this position. The scene now changes with Yuta telling Satoru Gojo the plan they came up with and asking Gojo if everything is okay. Gojo says it's okay, and he didn't mean to lose, but if he loses they can do whatever they want with his body. Furthermore, he remembers the conversation he had against Yuro. Yuta ends up asking if he didn't have Fujiwara blood. That's why Satoru Gojo, when he spoke of his descent, said that his blood was Fujiwara and not Fujiwara. Gojo says no, because at that time these two clans were even fighting, so it would be very difficult for him to have the blood of both. Satoru Gojo then tells him to go train more, because he uses his cursed energy in a very bad way, and also because what he's going to do next isn't very cool. And still saying what he's going to do, Gojo explains that if he loses to Sukuna, the old people at the top will have left and then Gakuganji will be at the top and the madness that happened in the post-Shibuya incident won't happen. The students then say that it is not for Gojo to become a monster alone, to leave humanity aside, but Satoru has to do this because he fell a little behind in relation to Suguro Geto, who tried to change this world in some way. Rotten, and Satoru didn't try to do that. Then we cut to another moment with Amai, and he is explaining how his innate ability works, saying that it works by increasing the amount of sugar inside him and also outside, and Shoko says that this is very interesting because with this ability it will be very useful to put sugar in the brain so that those who are defeated by the Sukuna do not die immediately. And we see here him with this ability helping Yuta stay alive a little longer, and Yuta himself says that he is only conscious thanks to Rika, and he is already reaching his limit. Shoko says that she has already managed to sew up Gojo's body and he will need to use his reverse technique as much as possible when he switches bodies with Satoru so as not to die instantly. Here we can see Yuta using his innate ability to copy a skill for 5 minutes, which he did not use against Sukuna precisely for this plan. And with that we return to the present with Sukuna versus Yuta, with both using their domain expansion with the same symbol. And here the narrator says that Gojo has already shown them what the solution is for dealing with the expansion of Sukuna, which has no barrier. Ending the chapter with Sukuna using his domain expansion and Yuta using Satoru Gojo's domain expansion. And guys, what did you think of this chapter? This chapter 1 also confessed that it took me by surprise. I really didn't expect it, but tell me, what do you think about Yuta having possessed Gojo's body? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel here to continue receiving Jujutsu Kaisen updates. That said, see you in the next video.